Hey y'all, happy Monday. It is Marketing Monday tonight, and I have an amazing conversation for you guys tonight. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the Super Bowl. All right, if you saw the Super Bowl last night, you may have some mixed feelings, but we're going to get into it. All right, and if you're looking at the title of my live this evening, you are also going to see we are going to be talking about the halftime show. All right, so as we all know, the talks have been going around. Everybody has their say, so people have their opinions. It is what it is, right? And now it's up to us under this to decide on what to do with what we saw last night. All right, like if you feel like this was a great show, definitely put some in the comments. If you feel like it was a bad show, please let me know in the comments, right? Like give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. But either way, we're gonna break down what took place last night in the sense of this halftime show when it came to Bad Bunny. Okay, and of course you guys know me. I'm gonna break everything down to you in a marketing tactful way, strategically as I can, so that way whoever is out there, I'm excited. Whoever else is out there is trying to get some ideas on how they can make these same type of moves, even in their own process right now, in their own business right now, in their own niche right now, whatever brand that you are working on right now, you can do these same steps to be able to get your story out there to whoever is available and then reach as many people as you can. All right, you guys ready to get into it? Let's go. All my replays are going to be found on not only YouTube, but you have to go through my Patreon to see it from YouTube. So if you catch me during these lives, please do so that we can interact with me. And then if not, you can just go to my Patreon right now. The replays are free, so you can jump on my free tier through Patreon, so you can see what we talked about, how I broke it down, all of that. Of course, stay tuned for clips and snippets later down in the week. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with. First of all, of course, we know the playoffs was against the Seahawks and the Patriots. All right, whichever one you're a fan of, you are also gonna feel some type of way about about last night's results. Okay, I actually stayed up for the whole entire game. The Patriots was slow. I ain't gonna lie, and it wasn't like they were. It was easy slow, but it was a tug of war in the sense like the defense on both sides was crazy aggressive. So it took some time for them to really get some steady points going in, and that's also saying when it came to the Seahawks finally making points, a lot of times they were punts. All right, and then of course after the second half, then they were able to get some touchdowns. But even that, it was tough, right? So, but nonetheless, a lot of us we may have got into it because of the game, but we really showed up because of the halftime show. All right. So with that being stated, as if you have been paying attention, you have Mr. Bad Bunny. Okay. So with this particular individual, again, if you've been paying attention, all right, you will notice, of course, that he was the highlight of the show last night when it came to the halftime show. Now, how the halftime show presented itself is going to be based off of a lot of things, right? Of course, if you liked how it went down, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the world, of course, and also, again, if you're business minded like me, how you can make this fit for you and how you can ultimately change, and not change, but how you can use your story to relate to other people, especially future audience members. Okay, so that way they can be more, in a sense, trusting you. Because when you tell somebody your story, they want to relate to you. They want to be able to see themselves in you. They want to be able to say, okay, cool. So if they can do it, I can do it. All right. So this is where the storytelling of Bad Bunny's halftime show made a huge impact. Okay, it had everything to do with the timing. It had everything to do with the emotional connection, all the way down to the way it was filmed, as far as me being a videographer and paying attention to this type of stuff, even all the way down to, of course, because of where he's from, Puerto Rico, and how the cultural relations all took place. So let's start from the beginning instead of jumping all over the place. All right. So this is going to be basically how, if Bad Bunny can turn a 13-minute into a cultural moment, you can turn even something as simple as me doing a 60-minute live right now with you all into a brand moment. All right. So as we know, when he first got in, how he was able to connect everything that his culture is about into the halftime show. All right. So the beauty of this was, of course, he came in first and told everybody his real name, and not just, of course, his performer name. So everybody his real name, which connected a lot of people to themselves, right? People who are from Puerto Rico, people who are Spanish speaking, people who just know about the culture, all right, and are indebted into the culture, born into the culture. So that already lets you know, okay, this finna be this finna be it. Okay. So then of course they get in there, and now you're hearing a song. What are we hearing throughout the whole entire, all the songs that are playing? What is the collective language that is being played throughout the whole, all the songs? I'll wait. Spanish. Espanol, okay? Like, to the T, okay? And the beauty of that, and I personally smiled throughout the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm all about, first of all, I love Spanish. I think it's a beautiful language. I live in an area with a lot of Spanish people. Because of that, I'm also wanting to learn more of Spanish so that way I can connect more with people that are around me versus me having to just try to ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, this is what it is. At the end of the day. So, and then of course going down from the language aspect, there were no subtitles. I've seen people post on threads like, "Oh my God, why they have no subtitles?" Like, would you really be paying attention to the subtitles at this point? Because it's not that long, and keep in mind, you could always put your closed captions on. Like, if they still do that and allow that type of shit, do that. I watched it on Peacock, so I wasn't really on like the ABC or none of that. I was just on a streaming network, and even then, I wasn't worried about subtitles. I want to see the visuals. I want to see how y'all was gonna film this. I want to see how this was gonna be set off with how everything was gonna be presented, right? So now, of course, now you also got the culture in a sense of dominoes. So there was a table of dominoes there. I saw the markets. Okay, I saw what was it, Coco Frio, right? I even saw the clothes. Okay, the bushes for alone, I already knew off the rip. I seen it when it was coming in there. I was like, oh yeah, those are people. Those are people. Like, those are fucking people. That's crazy, right? But they were there, and I was ready for them to get up and dance and stuff. But then they didn't move, right? But it was cool for what it needed to be, because it was a scenery. Like, he turned the whole football field to Puerto Rico. You felt like you was there, all right? That automatically grabs your attention. It automatically makes you think, oh shit, where did we just get transported to? All right, the clothes, the dancing, the connections, even the people that he had featured in it, all the way down to the place he had featured in it. Of course, you saw Cardi. I saw Jessica Alba after the fact, which I was surprised about. I was like, that's honey forever to me. Okay, what this meant, it had many different reasons as to what was going on and what was officially taking place. All right, so because, of course, and this is my perspective, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people picked up on this as well. Keep in mind, we are in the time, a day and age where ICE right now is heavy in the streets. All right, they are splitting up families. Right, so because of that, it was the timing of this. So it gives you an idea as well for yourself, because of course what's going on in this day and age. It made this be even more important, because now we're looking at, okay, this is happening. People are probably feeling like they're not being heard. They're definitely not being seen. They're being taken advantage of, also being tossed to the side. And it's a huge problem for them, right? Whether they're coming into this country to start a brand new life, maybe they're coming into this country because they are trying to get away from something that is more detrimental for them. This is pivotal for them right now. For me, what I like to say is that last year was for us. And when I mean us, I mean us. Right? And this year is for the Latinos, okay? Latinos needed a voice. They needed somebody to come out and speak for them. So that was the relatable part for this whole thing, right? It really hit them in a different way. And because of that, it allowed them to really celebrate, right? To finally have a moment to celebrate. I even remember looking at the actual, the stadiums, and a good amount of people were in it, right? But then, of course, you got people who don't. Of course, you don't know the words. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how to really move. But you're also seeing what's taking place, and you're excited about it because of what's taking place. So there's also that to look into, right? So it's not to where it was just isolating. It was a place for everybody to come together. The message came out very, very clear. Okay, it was, of course, pride, resilience, and love across all of the nations, right? And that's with a conglomeration of the different nationalities. In this case, of the Latino community. So for anybody else, right? You might say, you know what? How can I tell my story? This is something, the same thing. I kind of just gave you guys a little bit of spill about me. It's the same thing you can do for you. Because I will say this. I connect a lot more when I see people's stories of where they came from. And not to say I need to see the struggle, but I like to see that there was one.